Tonight, taking back Queensland's streets and footpaths. $500 fines for parents if their young child rides.
Ben Teo deserts the Broncos, walking out on the club after a fight with the head coach.
Widen and dredge the Fitzroy. Even one of our awesome foursome says the 2032 venue is embarrassing.
Trump's temporary truce with Iran, plus Chris Reason is in Lebanon with terrorists and trapped Aussies.
Serious concerns about safety in one of Queensland's most sought-after suburbs. We're live to Bulimba.
And how to stop thieves siphoning fuel, from a $30 lock to tips from police.
Live across Queensland, this is 7 News with Max Futcher and Sarah Greenhalgh.
Good evening. Parents will be fined at least $500 if their underage child is caught riding an e-bike or e-scooter.
There'll be new speed limits on roads and footpaths, and police will have the power to crush illegal devices.
Two wheels have never been so popular. E-bikes and e-scooters keeping police busy.
This isn't a game, it's not a joke. You are legally not allowed to ride that device.
From the 1st of July, children under the age of 16 will be banned. 16 and 17-year-olds can be fined. If they're younger, parents will cop the fine, ranging from $500 to $5,000 for more serious breaches.
If a 13-year-old jumps on a neuron device out here, then that 13-year-old will be able to receive a fine, and so too would the commercial e-mobility shared scheme provider.
Companies to face penalties of between $23,000 and $70,000. Riders aged 16 and older will require a learner's permit costing $77.55 for 3 years, and they'll need to be medically fit to drive.
They need licences, they shouldn't be on it because they're dangerous.
There'll be a new speed limit of 10 kilometres an hour on footpaths. On roads and bikeways, the motor can't be on if you're travelling over 25 kilometres an hour.
We believe this will reduce accidents, serious injury and preventable deaths.
Any device with more than 250 watts is considered illegal, as well as modifications to make them go faster. Tougher penalties will apply to hooning, failing to wear a helmet, and there'll be a new offence for reckless riding near pedestrians. Police will have new powers to randomly breath test riders and enforce drink riding fines from $500 to more than $6,000.
These changes will restore safety and common sense.
Police will also have the power to destroy e-bikes and e-scooters if riders are caught breaking the law.
This is a nation-leading response.
These are some big changes the government's talked a big game about.
The laws still have to pass. When they do, there'll be a 6-month grace period for riders to make sure their devices comply, to catch up to speed with all of the changes. Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
So how will your child get to school, sport or work without an e-scooter or e-bike? Are devices about to flood the second-hand market? Don't miss that story, coming up soon.
The Broncos are engulfed in fresh drama with assistant coach Ben Teo quitting the club.
Rohan Welsh joins us now. Rohan, Teo was at odds with Michael Maguire over team tactics.
Yeah, Max, it seems it might not be a happy camp at the Broncos after all. With revelations, Teo and Maguire were involved in a heated confrontation last week regarding the team's defensive strategies for the clash against the Storm. An overnight meeting couldn't resolve the issues, with Teo sensationally walking out on the club. To say it stunned the playing group is an understatement and will only add fuel to speculation around Maguire's coaching style. It's another unwanted headline following Payne Haas's shocked defection to South, the Broncos' poor start to the season, and the stripping of vocal ex-captain Gordon Tallis's name from a meeting room.
I don't think a lot's going wrong with the club, to be fair. I think a lot of external perceptions or views don't marry up with what's happening internally.
Yeah, he's done really well for me. Just learning off him. You know, he was a great player and a great coach as well. You know, we won a grand final with him. So.
I'll be back later in sport with more bad news for the Broncos, with star prop Payne Haas ruled out of the battle for Brisbane against the Dolphins.
Plenty to talk about. All right, thanks for that, Rohan. The Fitzroy River, which runs into the Great Barrier Reef, would have to be widened and dredged to host rowing in 2032. That plan is part of a leaked and unconfirmed report, which one of our most storied gold medalists calls embarrassing.
He won 4 Olympic medals.
Fantastic effort!
And gained notoriety as a member of the awesome foursome, few know more about rowing than Drew Ginn, and he has a strong opinion about the Fitzroy River.
Rivers flow, rivers flood. We know that the course up there has real issues around this, and that's okay for a club regatta. It's okay for a potential event at that sort of size locally. It's not okay for the Olympic Games.
Another of rowing's biggest names on the same stroke.
From lane to lane, there's variances, and the wind playing a part makes it fundamentally unfair.
Their concerns coming as details of an independent report were published by the Courier Mail, stating the Fitzroy would need to be widened and dredged to be a suitable venue.
On behalf of athletes and the sport in Australia, I think it's just embarrassing that we're actually doing it.
An independent review in 2024 looked at 9 possible sites from the southeast to Sydney. The 2 strongest, a purpose-built facility in Moreton Bay and the existing centre at Wyaralong Dam, 1.5 hours from Brisbane.
World Rowing will do its own technical study on the Fitzroy River.
I think it's sad that the Queensland government can't step back from this.
We've made it very clear that rowing will happen in Rockhampton, and we remain committed to that.
Endless debate replacing what should be growing excitement for a home games.
I'll be more likely to be there if it's in Moreton Bay or somewhere closer.
Laura Dimmick, 7 News.
10,000 Queensland state school teachers have been underpaid for months. Liam Bland joins us now in the studio. Liam, the department says human error is to blame here.
Sarah, Max, our youngest and newest teachers have been left hundreds of dollars out of pocket. A pay rise, which was meant to take effect from the start of September last year, hadn't been applied properly. It's impacted trainee teachers who should have transitioned to a base wage. Instead, they've missed out on an extra $70 to $90 a fortnight. Education Minister John Paul Langbroek told Parliament he only learned of the problem yesterday, which has left almost $9 million worth of wages in the government's coffers. The blunder went undetected for half a year, during which time teachers have been locked in a wage war with the state government over a new pay deal.
Band 2, Step 2 to 5 teachers were affected, which covers around approximately 10,500 teachers. On behalf of impacted teachers, I'm deeply disappointed and sorry that this has occurred.
The average amount owed is around $830. Teachers should see the money in their accounts by next Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Liam. There's some hope Iran's stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz is coming to an end.
Donald Trump has extended his deadline for the crucial waterway to be reopened while claiming a peace deal is possible. But Iran's leaders say he's lying to manipulate financial markets.
Buried but breathing. Rescuers claw through the rubble in Tehran after a hit on an apartment. While half a world away,
who doesn't love Elvis? Everybody loves Elvis.
The man ordering the strikes casually strolls through Elvis Presley's home, Graceland.
He was terrific.
Claiming to have held secret talks with Iran.
They called. I didn't call. They called. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal.
A change in tone days after his ultimatum, threatening to obliterate the country's power plants if the Strait of Hormuz wasn't reopened within 48 hours.
We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
The problem is, Iran is still launching attacks and publicly denies the talks, accusing Donald Trump of lying to manipulate the markets. Already stocks have gone up and oil prices have dropped, but adding to the confusion, Trump won't say who his negotiators, Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner, are talking to.
Because I don't want them to be killed.
Then adding,
they do have some leaders left. We blew up group number 1, group number 2, a lot of group number 3, but we think we have people that are very representative of the country and will do a good job.
Including a deal which could see the Strait of Hormuz jointly controlled. Even with hopes of peace, Iran's Revolutionary Guard keeps taunting Trump, covering missiles with his photo before firing them into enemy territory.
In
In the past few hours here in Tel Aviv, interceptors of the Iron Dome have once again failed to take out a ballistic missile, and it's caused extensive damage. You can see the buildings have been torn apart here. Cars were set on fire, but incredibly, no one was badly hurt. Donald Trump's supposed talks to wind down this war with Iran includes 15 points, and right now Steve Witkoff is reportedly on his way to Pakistan in hopes of having in-person talks with senior Iranian officials. Despite Tehran denying that any such talks exist, one of those officials has told CBS that those points were received by the US through a mediator and they are now being considered. Sarah?
Thank you, Jackie.
Well, Chris Reason is in Lebanon. Chris, you've been given extraordinary frontline access by the terror group Hezbollah.
Good evening, Max. There is a propaganda war underway here between Israel and Lebanon, and Hezbollah gave 7 News a battleground tour in an attempt to show the world the damage and the toll that this war is inflicting here. It is uncomfortable to deal directly with the terror group, but Hezbollah has been part of the fabric of this country for decades now. They have schools, hospitals, politicians in parliament. They claim their citizens are being unfairly targeted in a war they refuse to give up on. Driving into the heartland of Hezbollah, posters of their fallen leaders decorate the landscape, heroes of an organisation listed as terrorists in 20 countries, including Australia. We've arrived in Baalbek in the Bekaa Valley. We're deep here in the stronghold of Hezbollah territory. You can see posters of the leadership there. They've asked us to meet them at 11 a.m. There are other international media here. This is literally going to be a guided tour by Hezbollah of the latest missile strike site. The Hezbollah official arrives as promised. Okay. We can't identify him, but moments later he's leading a press-packed convoy to a place they claim is the site of Israeli war crimes. A home hit by airstrikes, 5 family members inside vaporised.
We didn't find any bodies.
This man lost his sister. How much anger do you have now?
Israel are a monster.
On top of the real war here, what was that and where? There is the public relations war to convince the world who's worse. But already more than 1,000 in Lebanon have been killed and many more are homeless. There are now well over 1 million people displaced in Lebanon, and this is what they're running from, the possibility of devastating aerial missile attacks. The family that lived here didn't get the chance to flee. 8 lost. They call them martyrs, and trapped nearby, an Australian in panic. Lead the way.
It's very terrifying at the moment.
It is. Sydney panel beater Mohammed Betarek, desperate to get to his home and kids.
My kids, they're terrified, you know, and I'm terrified myself, to be honest. As I was sleeping last night, I heard planes in the sky. Next minute, my whole house was shaking.
His new wife, Maze, is carrying a baby, but not a visa. They need urgent government help.
She's 2 months pregnant. Please, please, please get me out of here.
Worried they're bringing a new life into a place that could easily take it. In Baalbek, Lebanon, Chris Reason, 7 News.
Cheaper EVs, chocolate and wine will come as welcome news for many Australians, but not everybody's impressed with the new trade deal that's been struck with Europe today. The historic pact has our farmers fuming.
A $10 billion deal sealed with a kiss or two. A free trade deal opening access to the EU's 450 million consumers, allowing Australia to export more beef, lamb, sugar, grain, dairy, seafood and wine, while Australians will be able to buy cheaper European electric vehicles, champagne, wine and spirits, biscuits, chocolates and pasta. A deal worth $10 billion a year to Australia.
I think you call that hitting it for 6.
We are just very disappointed as a sector.
Even though beef quotas to Europe jumped from 4,000 to 35,000 tonnes a year and sheep meat from 6,000 to 31,000 tonnes.
Some of our competitors like Canada and New Zealand are way ahead of that, so we know it really is a low number for us.
To business, a significant deal.
We shouldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
And on naming rights, Australian producers can still use Kransky and Parmesan, Prosecco and Ouzo only domestically, and Feta, Romano and Gruyere only on existing products. Though his signature isn't on this deal, Donald Trump's fingerprints are all over it, though probably not in a way he imagines. He's punishing tariffs, encouraging Europe to deal with Australia instead.
Trust matters more than transactions.
It is possible to stick to the rules.
And on defence cooperation, another message.
Getting China right is a strategic imperative.
And now
we have each other's back.
While fronting up side by side. Mark Riley, 7 News.
An air traffic controller has taken responsibility for a tarmac tragedy in New York. 2 pilots were killed and dozens of people rushed to hospital when a passenger jet collided with a fire truck.
Disaster at LaGuardia. An Air Canada Express jet travelling at almost 170 kilometres an hour slams into a fire truck on landing. The collision catastrophic.
An aviation disaster, the likes of which we have not seen here in over 3 decades.
The cockpit obliterated. The pilot and co-pilot killed.
These were 2 young men at the start of their careers, so it's an absolute tragedy.
72 passengers and 4 crew were on the plane. 43 people, including 2 in the truck, were taken to hospital. Most have now been released.
We came in pretty hard. We immediately hit something and it was just chaos from there.
It was just a very loud boom and people hit their heads, people were bleeding.
A flight attendant was thrown from the plane, found almost 100 metres away, alive, still strapped into her seat. It's a total miracle, her daughter says. The fire truck was given permission to cross the runway to respond to another emergency.
Truck 1 company, cross 4 Delta.
Seconds before the fatal crash, this desperate plea from the tower.
Stop, 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 truck 1, stop, stop, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop.
The controller, devastated.
We were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up. No, man, you did the best you could.
With wreckage everywhere, that runway is expected to remain shut until the weekend. In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
The King's Baton Relay has made its way to Sydney in the countdown to July's Commonwealth Games in Scotland. It's just been passed on to the Governor-General by our very own Matt Shervington.
A man on a mission, and boy, he's still quick. Our own Matt Shervington and the King's Baton Relay at full sprint across Sydney.
Now look at that and tell me that's not running.
The Baton has already toured some of Australia's most famous sites: Uluru, the waters of the Great Barrier Reef and the Sunrise Studio.
Aussie gymnastic champion Georgia Godwin is right here.
Hello. As soon as I could, I handed it off to Shervo and I was like, please look after it.
Shervo is no stranger to a relay, a bronze medalist in the men's 4x100 in the Commonwealth Games in 1998. Setting off today from 7 on a tour of the city before carefully handing the baton to the Governor-General.
Governor-General, how are you? Hand, there you go.
This one of 74 batons crafted from Scottish ash, one for each of the Commonwealth nations.
It is the first time that all 74 nations have had their own baton. I really wanted it to represent Australia, like all aspects of Australia, from our beautiful communities, our diverse landscapes.
The baton is now on its way to Tasmania for the last stop of its Australian tour. Its final destination, Glasgow, where it will join with the 73 others to reveal a special message from the King.
The word on our baton is welcome, and that'll find its way somewhere in his message when he delivers it at the opening ceremony.
Amber Laidler, 7 News.
Now for a look at the weather, Tony, a bit rough on the beaches.
Yeah, that's right, Max. It's all thanks to a low sitting off our coast. Now, here is that extratropical low. It's not a tropical cyclone, though it is getting close to the equivalent of a Category 2 system. It's sitting 1,000 kilometres off the coast and shouldn't get much closer, but it is still having an impact. Double Island Point had a peak wind gust of 80 kilometres per hour this morning, Cape Morton 69. Now, waves have started building today, but should peak tomorrow, and a hazardous surf warning is current for the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast and Gari beaches. Temperatures also set to climb. I'll be back soon with the forecast.
Thank you, Tony. Coming up, a neighbourhood evacuated, police investigating after a blaze rips through a Springfield home.
Hear from the driver accused of ramming the Iranian women's soccer team bus.
How Brisbane Airport is planning to slash painfully long queues in terminals.
Plus, a wizard, gallows and rumour has it, a ghost inside the Logan Castle that's just hit the market.
Concern is growing in one of Brisbane's most sought-after suburbs, where there's been a series of violent assaults involving school children. Rachel Baxter is in Bulimba tonight. Rachel, a child was hospitalised.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. Good evening to you. A boy was allegedly beaten here at Memorial Park on Oxford Street in Bulimba and suffered serious injuries. And then on Friday, another teenager, a 16-year-old, was attacked by a group of teenagers on Oxford Street at around 8 p.m. Now, this video that you're seeing now has allegedly been circulated across local students, across local schools, and it's caught the attention of some parents who are extremely concerned. Now, no one has been charged for that incident on Friday. However, tomorrow night, Sarah, we will be speaking with some local parents who are concerned, and there's also growing concerns about vigilante action.
Thank you for that, Rachel. A crime scene has been declared after a fire tore through a unit at Springfield. Just after 2:30 this morning, firefighters were called to a property on Escarpment Drive. Surrounding homes were evacuated and one person was taken to hospital with smoke inhalation. The cause of the blaze remains under investigation. A driver who allegedly rammed a bus full of Iranian soccer players will fight the charges. Mohammed Zagar Vafa is accused of being behind the wheel of this ute when it collided with the bus, which was on its way to the airport. He was one of a number of activists who were trying to stop the team returning to their war-torn country. The Gold Coast dad spoke to 7 News outside court today.
Good luck.
We try to support them because they are under pressure from IRGC terrorist organisation.
The 35-year-old also showed us the damage to his car. The case will return to court next month.
Brisbane Airport has joined calls for urgent immigration upgrades. The nation's biggest airports claim Australia is falling behind other countries which use safer and faster passport processing.
Sick of lines inside their buildings, airport bosses drew one of their own, joining tourism leaders calling for a new dawn on border technology.
It is the ultimate brand moment.
And right now they say we're off-brand, falling behind countries with more streamlined digital border security.
Passengers might decide not to come to Australia because they're queuing up. Airlines might decide not to fly because there's no capacity for them.
They want a digital incoming passenger declaration trial sped up, currently limited to select Sydney and Brisbane flights.
I know it's symbolic. We have to move on. It's really, really critical that we do this because you can see the level of investment that's occurring.
Between them, our three biggest airports are spending $15 billion on upgrades, potentially wasted, they argue, if we don't also fix back-of-house operations.
What we don't want to see is capacity added effectively for holding pens for the lack of efficiency in our arrivals process.
Border Force expects international arrival numbers to rise 40% in the next 3 years.
We're not doing this for the Olympics, obviously not. But we need to be ready for the Olympics.
Publicly, airport bosses don't appear worried about jet fuel. They have a relatively healthy 39 days supply.
We're seeing tankers coming in and still green lighting out to the middle to the end of May, which is very consistent with what the government is saying as far as fuel supply.
But Jetstar has reduced services to and around New Zealand. It blames rising costs, but says the changes are temporary. Blake Johnson, 7 News.
Love them or hate them, e-bikes and e-scooters are everywhere. What the new crackdown means for parents, kids, the community and the school run.
A petrol siphoning spree, the simple tips to keep your vehicle and fuel safe.
Air Force troops among the dead and injured after their plane crashes in a remote jungle.
And worried about AI taking your job, how it could actually lead to a pay rise. Well, they're fast, cheap and about to flood Facebook Marketplace. Thousands of e-bikes and e-scooters are expected to be offloaded as Queensland families scramble to find a new ride to school, sport or work.
Good to go, right, eh?
As the minister stood up to announce the laws, news hadn't spread to the streets. On the southern Gold Coast, there was not one, but room for two, even.
Well, there's three on a bike.
On their way to school, but not for much longer.
I don't know. I would actually probably just have to get a bus or something because a lot of the time my mum and dad work.
Inconvenient for some, for others almost too late.
Oh, it was absolutely horrific. It was probably one of the worst things a parent could ever go through.
Caden was 14 when he struck a van on his e-scooter at Paradise Point. His mother believes training is the answer, not a ban.
There should have been rules implemented in the first place. We're now in the position where they're taken away from the kid and it's not the kid's fault.
So I would just like to see people just out and about, still enjoying life, just in a safe and better manner.
If their device is too powerful, even those over 16 will need to find a new way to get around.
We want less cars on the road. Don't make it too hard to be on an e-bike.
So it's definitely handy, especially also with fuel prices, to just replace that.
For those being driven to two wheels by the rising cost of fuel, in Queensland there is an alternative. Remember the moped.
We don't think people know that in Queensland you can just ride them on a car licence.
Coastline mopeds admit they aren't as trendy as dirt bikes.
150 kilometres to a tank, about $10.
But dirt cheap to run and legal. Amanda Abate, 7 News.
A Colombian military plane packed with soldiers has crashed near the border with Ecuador. The Hercules was carrying ammunition that detonated on impact. More than 30 people were killed and dozens more injured when it went down shortly after takeoff. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Thieves are less interested in your four wheels right now, but they are desperate for your petrol. And with fuel prices only going one way, there are protections Queenslanders can use.
Fuel flaps forced open, car after car drained, a siphoning spree down south, perhaps a sign of what's to come in Queensland.
You could possibly get fuel out of the older cars within about 2 or 3 minutes. Literally pull up, rip the cap off it, put a hose down and siphon it out.
Stealing liquid gold. If a Land Cruiser filled up with diesel at this service station in Milton today, its tank would be worth almost $350. So how do you protect it? Lockable fuel caps are a start. At Supercheap Auto, you can buy one for $29, Repco $23. Newer cars come with anti-siphon technology.
Central locking locks the fuel cap when the car's locked, and also the actual filler necks have little restrictions and valves and everything in them to stop hoses getting down to the fuel.
Inquiries for Sunshine Coast business Fuel Lock's anti-siphon system are soaring. They offer an app to track, trace and authorise every drop.
Whether it's a large tank in a yard for a transport company or a fuel pod that goes out to an excavator.
To protect yourself against thieves after paying top dollar at the Bowser, police also recommend parking in well-lit areas and remembering to lock your car, even in the garage.
And a clear warning from someone who drains fuel for a living.
It is dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Mel Whiteman, 7 News.
Proof you're not imagining it. Easter eggs are officially getting smaller and more expensive. Details ahead.
Meet the Wizard of Waterford, a man whose house really is his castle, and it's on the market.
If Noah's Ark was armed, snakes, turtles, guns and all sorts of unusual critters catch police off guard.
And why you should check your sneakers before putting them on.
Tonight's secret suburb is Kangaroo Point. Listen to Novo 106.9 tomorrow morning to win $1,000 thanks to 7 News.
Hello, the market dined out early on the US president's taco moment. Trump always chickens out, that is, bouncing back from yesterday's 10-month low. The momentum didn't last, though, and the market lost most of its gains by the close as the oil price crept back up. Struggling department store Myer has posted a $40 million profit for the half year. That's a jump of 33%, but it's still fallen short of market expectations. Not a massive surprise given fuel prices, inflation and higher interest rates. ANZ's weekly measure of consumer confidence has hit its lowest point since records began back in 1973. The ASX 200 finished marginally higher. Miners lifted. Energy stocks mostly went the other way. KMD Brands, owner of Rip Curl and Kathmandu, jumped on the back of a takeover bid. The Aussie dollar currently buying 69 US cents.
Thank you, Tim. And it's time now for an update on Queensland's blood supply from Lifeblood. Right now, multiple blood types are at concerning levels. Lifeblood is urging you to book a donation this week to stop supplies dwindling further. More plasma donors are also needed to ensure patients with cancer and immune deficiencies receive treatment. Search blood supply or visit lifeblood.com.au to book your donation.
Consumer advocacy group Choice has found we won't be getting value for money at supermarkets this Easter. It's asked Cadbury for a please explain over these popular packs of hunting eggs, which have shrunk in size from last year and skyrocketed in price. It's also called out Aldi for shrinking the size of its hot cross buns while not reducing the price. Have you ever wanted to be the king or queen of your own castle? Well, a unique home in Waterford will go under the hammer this Saturday. It has a turret, land, and was made with a whole lot of love.
He's the Wizard of Waterford who's made a castle out of his home.
I've always had castles in my blood. I was working on them in England.
Born in a hospital wing of a converted English castle during World War II, Brian Rumble has always worked with his hands, his craftsmanship calling him across oceans, recruited in 1963 to Sydney for his skills with slate.
I did the dome on Warwick Castle in England. That's where I got recognised to come here.
Purchased in 1985 for $28,000, Brian's turned this property into a Gothic wonderland. Gargoyles, gallows, even a witch's den. Riches on the outside, opening to a treasure trove inside.
Come on in, Nat. So that would have held a grown man's hand in battle.
This one wasn't made by your dad?
No, this is an original. This has got blood on it.
A 25 candlelit chandelier.
So I give that a spin, and you'll see the whole light will come all the way to the floor.
A hand-carved throne, a stained glass window.
A lot of people miss the wizard, but he doesn't miss anybody.
It's 72 stairs to the top of the tower, taking in views all the way from Mount Lindsay in the south through to Daisy Hill in the north.
You won't find any property around these areas or Brisbane of this size with the potential to develop more than 100 lots.
This piece of serenity shaped and crafted by an artist not done with creating.
I make walking sticks, so that's all I do nowadays.
On Saturday, his home of over 4 decades goes under the hammer.
I built something that's different, and that's the main thing. They'll probably knock it down now.
Nats Levy, 7 News.
I hope not. Great stuff. Well, officers got more than they bargained for when they raided a property in Sydney. 20 snakes, 4 tortoises, 12 turtles and a number of dead animals, including a decapitated possum, were found inside, along with 3 pistols, a rifle, a shortened double-barrel shotgun and ammunition. The suspect, a 24-year-old man with alleged links to organised crime and bikie gangs, tried to run away but was chased down and arrested. Charges relating to illegally imported exotic animals alone could land him behind bars for up to 10 years. And a reminder to always check your shoes before putting them on. A snake catcher found a red-bellied black snake curled up in a sneaker. The shoe was just inside the front door of the house in New South Wales's Hunter Valley. It took a gentle shake to get the little reptile out of the shoe, and the snake was relocated to nearby bushland. No thanks.
Ooh, I just spent the whole time going like this. Do you think you're pretty savvy with AI? We find out how much more you could actually earn if you upskilled. That report is just ahead.
Plus, in Sunnyside, meet the Brew Crew, providing not just a warm drink, but a lifeline. Don't miss those stories. Coming up soon on 7 News.
But first, Welshie's back with sport and some more on the latest Broncos drama.
Yeah, they can find one, can't they, Sarah? Hello, everyone. This one could have huge ramifications on the playing group. Ben Teo's heated bust-up with Michael Maguire is next. Is it a club in crisis, or can Brisbane defy the drama and the loss of their best player before the Dolphins derby? Plus, things get pretty heated at the Lions training too as they chase their first win of the season. The Broncos are in the wars ahead of the battle for Brisbane, with Payne Haas ruled out of the Dolphins derby and assistant coach Ben Teo sensationally quitting after a heated blow-up with Michael Maguire. Players were blindsided with his departure and it's left the club scrambling to find a new Minister of Defence.
Michael Maguire could have easily fronted the media to clear the air. Instead, CEO Dave Donaghy took the hit up from 3 states away.
Needless to say, we were I suppose, shocked.
As were the players after Teo tendered his resignation this morning. 11th hour peace talks last night failing to resolve what's believed to be months of tension between the pair.
I saw it on Instagram this morning. I haven't read too much into it. I don't know what's coming or anything or how true the situation is.
Broncos great and former Reds coach Brad Thorne's been floated as a potential replacement.
I'm confident that at the right time, whoever we do bring in, they'll certainly be up to the task.
Matt Ballin's expected to take over Brisbane's defensive structures for the time being, but even he could be out the door before too long. Manly's old boys are pushing for the champion Sea Eagle to return home and replace an under fire Anthony Seibold. The Premier's staring down an exodus, with Payne Haas also bound for Souths, where coincidentally Maguire's tenure ended in turmoil after breaking a title drought.
Unfortunate timing. Sometimes coincidences do happen.
Compounding Brisbane's woes, the top prop's out for at least the Brisbane derby with a shoulder injury.
There's going to be a big role for myself and Xavier and the rest of our middle forwards to step up to the plate.
Against a reinforced Finns whose bench boasts both Tom Flegler and Francis Molo.
They'll still have 19 players that want to get up for this game, so for us it's just about focusing on ourselves.
Nicorima's also focused on securing a new deal with the Dolphins. The veteran playmaker's been off contract since last November.
We're in talks at the moment. Obviously, I want to stay here at the Dolphins. It's also nice knowing that there is interest elsewhere.
Mitch Crone, 7 News.
The Lions are set for a timely boost ahead of Saturday's clash with St Kilda, with 4 key weapons on the comeback trail. While the reinforcements return, an off-field feud between the coaches is adding some extra spice to the showdown.
A Dane Zorko spray with the Lions fighting for their first win.
You don't want to be in this position, but it's not panic stations as of yet, I wouldn't have thought.
Helpers on the way against St Kilda. Darcy Gardner and Zach Bowley return from suspension. Hugh McCluggage and Logan Morris back from injury.
We've had new guys come into the team. People are sort of trying to find their feet, haven't played a lot of footy, so trying to work on that cohesiveness.
Coach Chris Fagan was in Sydney for the New Look Saints 4-point win over the Giants.
It's an insight to his mindset and the drive and the club we're coming up against.
The coaches face off after an off-season war of words over the Saints' big money moves. $2 million a season for Wanganeen Millera and $1.7 for De Koning.
I saw that as a bit of a danger for the game. The best players in the competition deserve to be paid the most money, and that's not the case at the moment.
When Brisbane's list could be in decline, they're going to get the captain of West Coast and the number 1 player from Essendon.
Any on-field taunts unlikely, now classified as unsportsmanlike. Patrick Voss fined for gestures last round, tied to past flash points involving Harrison Petty.
I'm more focused on getting ourselves back on track, and I don't think there'll be too much taunting going on this week from our end.
And a blow to the Suns, failing to overturn Bally Humphrey's 2-match ban for his sling tackle at the tribunal. Kieran Tui, 7 News.
He's the captain of the Socceroos, but Matt Ryan knows no one is safe under Tony Popovic. Ryan's battling with Paul Izzo to be the first choice goalkeeper for the World Cup in North America, beginning in June.
Tony does a great job at creating that environment in here. There's no hierarchy.
The Aussies take on Cameroon in a friendly at Homebush on Friday night. Well, Baz survived, but Baz Ball appears dead after the review into England's Ashes flop. Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes and managing director Rob Key all escaped the axe.
They just have to be relentless in how they do it, ruthless, smart, those things. At times we've thrown too many opportunities away. They just have to keep evolving.
Despite the debacle down under, the inquiry found there's no drinking culture despite the off-field incidents, while a fired-up Stokes declared in a social media post full of F-bombs that he has a lot more to give. Queensland sprinters Gout and Lachlan Kennedy renewed their rivalry in Melbourne this weekend. Kennedy stunned Gout in the 200-metre final last year.
I mean, it was a cracking race last year. I had so much fun. I'm planning on having a similar result. Hopefully we can run an even faster time.
The Maurie Plant meet is live and free on 7 and 7 Plus on Saturday night. And talk about an uphill battle. Long John Daly could at least poke a bit of fun at himself after his latest golfing slip-up, labelling it belly flopping in the desert. Unfortunately, the two-time major winner also slid down the leaderboard at Tucson.
That's the best thing I've seen all day.
Is that because that's happened to you?
Never. Thank you very much. That's great.
Australians could boost their pay by $11,000 a year if they learn how to use artificial intelligence properly.
AI is reshaping our workforce and millions of workers are worried future tech will make them redundant.
University students are embracing AI.
I feel like it's a good tool to help people.
Speeds up some processes, makes it more efficient.
Workers think so too. 84% are using AI tools every day, but according to RMIT Online and Deloitte, only 7% are considered proficient.
If we can bridge the gap, it can create as much as $18.9 billion of benefit to the economy.
And for employees, that could mean a pay rise.
Moving from being a beginner in AI to being proficient or an expert, it's about $11,000 per year.
AI is going to change everything. So it's either going to be the case that your job will be changed by AI or you will change your job with AI. And it's the second one there which will give you more agency.
Almost a third of workers are worried they'll lose their job. The AI impact is already being felt, particularly in fields like admin and web development.
It really is the time to upskill yourself on what AI can do, how you can build agents to do repetitive tasks and that type of thing, to protect yourself from AI. It sounds strange, but it really is the thing to be looking at.
Are you worried heading into the workforce?
Not really, to be honest. If I do want to go into something with the arts, I don't really think that AI can replace it.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
Big hearts and full of beans. Next, meet the volunteers behind the Brisbane Coffee Brigade. Hear how they've been spreading coffee, kindness and connection for more than 50 years.
And temperatures set to spike, but how long will it last? I'll have the forecast after the break. Good evening, Queensland. Checking your weather now, and it's been another wet and windy day in the southeast. This was the view over Brisbane late morning. Just a little bit of blue sky poking through, mostly cloudy skies as intermittent showers move through. A mild night on the coast, while inland spots were a bit cooler. Toowoomba and Canungra dropped to 16 degrees. Greenbank topped out at 29, and we have seen gusty winds along the coastal stretch. That's all thanks to a low pressure system sitting about 1,000 kilometres offshore behind me here. Waves are also starting to pick up on the beaches, while overland, of course, those few showers in the southeast, and we're also seeing some storms up towards Cape York Peninsula. Now onto the forecast chart. That low should continue to slide past our coast tomorrow, pushing in bigger waves, but allowing those winds to ease as it moves further away. And they say cats have 9 lives. Well, Narelle is almost up to 3. The system is likely to be reclassified as a tropical cyclone tonight, before hovering off the WA coast for days to come. Around the capitals tomorrow, a few storms dotted across the nation, both for Darwin and Broome, and also affecting Adelaide, Melbourne, Canberra and Hobart. For northern Queensland, showers continue in Weipa and a possible sprinkle for the Whitsundays, but otherwise dry, 32 degrees in Townsville. Heading south, once again showers concentrated to that most exposed part of the coast around Hervey Bay and Maryborough, maybe just reaching Gympie too. In the southeast, just a possible sprinkle for the Gold and Sunshine coasts as winds ease back, though a hazardous surf warning is issued as powerful swells push onto the coast. Warming up a bit as skies start to clear. Ferny Grove, Kenmore, Oxley all chasing tops of 31 after dropping to 19 overnight. Boaties, southerly winds to start. They'll turn more southeast into the afternoon on Moreton Bay, and here is the reason for that hazardous surf warning. Easterly swells bumping up to 3 metres at times. Bar crossings will be dangerous. In the River City, call it partly cloudy as the chance of any showers drops, 20 up to 30 degrees, and the mercury continues to bump up a little further to finish the week. A mostly sunny 32 on Thursday, a windy but sunny 33 on Friday. In Ipswich, a mix of hotter days and colder nights. Friday, 34, followed by a minimum of just 12 on Saturday morning. On the Gold Coast, 31 and 33 on Thursday and Friday as the beaches will be inviting, but it drops to 26 Saturday. Still plenty of sunny breaks to start the weekend. And Sunshine Coasters, that hazardous surf warning stays current on Thursday as temperatures rise. 33 Friday, back to 26 Saturday, and some showers returning from Sunday. Now, guys, with cooler nights on the way, it's almost time to dig out that thick doona.
Not quite yet. Oh, thanks, Tony. Time now for Sunnyside. Here's Sam.
Tonight on Sunnyside, a Brisbane Brigade that's been boiling a benevolent brew for more than 50 years and still going strong.
Too good by name, too good by nature. 55 years ago, Louisa Toogood started the Brisbane Coffee Brigade to help the needy.
You can have some. Well, more of that.
She was even honoured by the Governor in 1974.
For her dedicated and outstanding service to the poor and destitute.
Today, the free service is still going as strong as its brew.
On average, we're serving around 150 people experiencing homelessness or hardship.
300 volunteers pour their time and heart into helping every day.
7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Not only providing free coffee and sandwiches, but other essentials.
We also have fresh fruit, snacks, and also hygiene items.
For many, it's not just a morning pick-me-up, but a lifeline.
For a lot of people, we may be the only people they see in that entire day.
For that half an hour, they get human interaction with people that care about them.
Ensuring everyone is full of beans for another 55 years to come.
Lovely. If you have a good news story, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email at sunnyside@7.com.au. And before we go, here's a quick look at what's on Sunrise tomorrow.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, one of Australia's biggest online travel sales is back.
Yeah, where to score epic savings on your next holiday, from budget stays to luxury escapes.
See you in the morning, Queensland.
And that's all from us this Tuesday. Thanks for your company.
For now, from all the team, have a good night.
Good night.